Gotta find your cord again. Which one is it? That's not the one. How about this one? Yes. Okay, so we'll put this out here. I'm gonna lie on this couch and relax and hang out with you. Of course, I'll have to get up after a while. Okay, there we go. I'm taking the advice of my mother. She always said, now sit down, Nancy, and put your legs up. You've done so much today. You just sit down and put your legs up. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm sitting down, putting my legs up. Actually, I just wanted to be in the sun. So I'm applicating. Such a beautiful day. I wanted to go snowshoeing today, but I don't have enough energy. I was going to actually prune my fruit trees. I was all set to go out there and prune them, but, well, I lugged the ladder for a little bit, like 10 feet. And then I cut off 2 branches. I couldn't get the ladder is not going to work on that tree. It's too high. Might work. Going to go down into the snow a bit. But I gave up. I thought, no. My body is not interested in this much work. So instead I'm going to eat some 85% chocolate. There's caffeine in it. We also finished our scalloped potatoes with the almond milk, which was really mostly like thin almond butter. Well, pretty thin almond butter, but it was a lot thicker than the milk should have been. I had all these dehydrated onions in it and the dehydrated potatoes. And so there was this thick crust all around in the pot. So I decided, well, they ate both of those, didn't they? So I decided I would fill the pot with water and get all that crusty stuff off and let it be part of the next batch. So I put a whole bunch of water and just a handful and a half of dehydrated onions and about a half a quart of dehydrated potato slices. And then I added my Jamaican curry. Hey, my hair is still curled. The dump is open. One day we'll have really good cell service here and I can make a video at the dump. Really nice to be in the sun. I didn't have any energy for anything. I ate a bit of liverwurst and hummus with romaine. I dipped the romaine end of the leaf in and rolled it up. I'm not into cutting it and to make it a salad. It just seems sort of, I don't know, redundant. You're going to eat the whole thing. Why not just roll it up? That's my tea kettle. It's going to be boiling hot. So I also added nettles, dried nettles to my soup. I hope it's going to be okay. I used the wrong water though, you know, I used the water out of the tap. As soon as I hear it start to splash out of the pot on the stove, then I'll know it's boiling. I'll get up and go fix it. Does that ruin your glass stove if that happens? I use the regular tap water in my pot. Not my tea, my soup stuff. It was really thick last time. was way too thick. I had to add a lot of liquid to it, a lot of water. Hey, I didn't add any almond to it this time. Was that you blinking or was that me? So I decided I would change the name of my videos where I play Minecraft. I'm going to call it Grandma's Minecraft. Because I do things differently than other people. I act like an old grandmother. You know, I do things that are calm and I have some creative ideas in there. Oh, look, we have one person. Hello, one person. Nice to see you. I can't see you. There you are, L2. Hi, Nancy. Do you make nettle tea? I do. Oh, Zachary, you love Minecraft. Wow, I do too. It's my favorite thing to do. If I can't go outside and do outside stuff in the sun, Minecraft is the next best thing. So this morning I made a video to let all the YouTubers know. That's the great thing about Minecraft. You can play however. Yeah, I know you can. So this morning I made a video on how to acquire lava, how to make buckets and then fill them all with lava, and then how to use them in the furnace. Because I thought that was really useful to know. Because you have to do a lot of mining to get 64 iron, or not iron, 64 coal. So you can burn it all and smelt your thing. Or you can just go find a lava pool and you just tap once with a bucket and there you have it. In like 5 minutes. I had filled 3 chests. Well, maybe it took more than 5 minutes, but it was just a matter of walking to the lava pool, tap, 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 tap. You fill it all and walk there and put it all in the chest, and then you make another chest. I spent a whole weekend mining, and so I have a whole big supply of iron, and I just started this new game. This one is my Grass Hut Settlement World. Hey, I could invite you. You want me to send you an invite and you can come and see? That would be fun. But it's survival mode, but it's peaceful. Except I did do one thing. I found out I can teleport. Well, that simplifies things, but it's not the same game, you know. Well, I'm Nancy today, with a space in between Nancy and today. That's pretty easy. I made my grass hut buildings and I filled one with all kinds of stuff. It's all full of chests, and then there's chests in front of chests. And then it's too big, it's too small. How come it becomes that they're always too small? You know what you really need to do? You need to find a mansion and just do the locate mansion and go to the mansion and then keep all your stuff in the mansion. I think that would be good because you can end up with a lot of chests. It's kind of fun to do, isn't it? I figured out how to clone. Do you clone stuff too? I made villages. I made a really nice house and I cloned it. And I figured out how to clone it. Oh, you just go / locate mansion. And if you've got that part of cheats enabled. I needed some glow. Yesterday I was playing with my grandson. And he was putting all these paintings on the wall. And I didn't like the Minecraft paintings. They're paintings of monsters and things, and it just wasn't my thing. And I said, can you make your own paintings? And he said that there was a way, but he didn't know how. And he is 6, so, you know, we got to give him some slack. So a 6-year-old and a 66-year-old together, we make one. Yeah, so who wants those kind of pictures? So I decided I would make maps. And so I took all these glow frames and put them all over the wall. And then I got some maps and I went out and watched my little character. You have to use a locator map. I didn't realize that, to see your little... My hearing is going. But that's okay because it matches my eyes. When I'm going to go out of this life, I'm going to have used up the whole thing. I used up both hips and part of my eyes and part of my ears, my knees, you know. I'm really, you know, really getting my money's worth out of this body. Use it up, wear it out, make it do or do without. So I found this really cool jungle, and it's so cozy. I just love it in there. And then I found some polar bears, and then I found and I started breeding them with bamboo. I like having my Google Dot because I can just say, okay, and then I ask her, if this, what do you do? And she says, how do you do this? So I've been playing pretty hard in Minecraft, but I have no bad guys. And they don't spawn anywhere, not unless I have grandchildren around. And there's no lava dripping on everything unless I play with grandchildren. That's why I like this one. I know, isn't the jungle cool? I didn't realize that it was so cool. And I found a flower biome. And I had just wandered around and I ended up in this jungle. And I couldn't figure out how to get back. And then I realized I had the coordinates there and I could just look at that and figure it out. But on the way, and then I found a horse and I found a village and I found a saddle. And so I found a horse and a saddle and away I went. I went galloping and galloping and galloping. But these forests, you keep getting stuck in the leaves. The leaves are in your trees and the horse can't get through. And then there's so many mountains. Everywhere you look, you can't go anywhere because there's a mountain and you have to go up it, up and over. Anyway, and I found this flower biome. It has so many beautiful flowers. It was really nice. But I've been playing creative mode for not a year, but quite like I started playing a year ago, I think, last winter with my son in Vietnam. He wasn't sure that if I'd be able to figure it out. And here I was teaching him stuff. Me and Google, we make a good team. So what do you like to do on Minecraft? I think Minecraft is awesome. So I had to, with creative mode, and I was starting a new game, and so I had to start with, cutting down trees, and then getting a wooden axe and a wooden pickaxe, and then get some cobblestone, and then make some stone tools, and then you can pick up everything. I like being able to pick things up. I mean, I am a hoarder at heart. So it's nice to be able to pick everything up and keep it. I put it on creative mode, in creative mode a minute ago because I needed some more glow frames, and I think I found about 30 of them in a chest somewhere. So that's how I ended up with some. And then I realized you had to get leather, but I can't seem to get leather. You play as a wanderer in survival. I just set up little settlements that match the biome I've stopped in. Oh, isn't that interesting? Yeah, interesting. I like survival mode, peaceful. I like the progression, how you have to start at the very basics. If you want to make a map, first you have to find some sugar cane and you have to plant it. And then you have to harvest, wait for it to grow, and you have to harvest it and plant some more. Keep doing that and doing that. And then you make lots of paper. And then you make the paper into maps. But you can't use a map anywhere unless you are looking at it. You can't put it anywhere unless you have a frame. But you need leather for your frame. And I know you can get leather from rabbits and cows. And I don't like killing animals. It's just against everything I stand for. But I had to kill this cow to get leather, and there was nothing but white poof. What did I do wrong? Boy, that sun is nice and warm. See, half of me is gone to heaven. See, half of me is angelic. Ooh. The turkeys were home when I got back. I went out to visit my daughter today, darling Scarlett. She's doing such cool stuff. Hi, Suze, you're back. How are you? How's your weather? Everything good down there? You're in Alabama, right? Say yes. And then I'll be happy because my memory works so well. Last night we met so many people, and I tried to remember their names and write down where they were from. And I wrote down about 5 of them, I think, and I put them on my book today. But there were some I think I missed. I don't have my book right here, or I would look you up. Kansas. What is wrong with it? Oh, it's Susie Q. That's it. Susie Q is in Alabama, and Suze is in Kansas, and Susan Brown, no, Susan E-N, like Esther, N, I don't remember. It starts with an E and has a T in it, and an R, an N. Anyway, Susan is in Wisconsin. Susie Q. Scott is in Alabama, and Suze is in Kansas. And Zachary Tallman, see, I remember Tallman. It's like the tall buildings that are outside his window. He's in New York City. Can you imagine being in New York City? That's just like the total opposite of my world. Look at my world. Isn't this awesome? Like, can you imagine if this was New York City? If I go to Ottawa, it's all these tall buildings and there's a big wind tunnel between them. And the snow is never very beautiful. It gets really dirty and wet, like sloppy stuff. You have puddles. I'm sorry you're jealous. You can come visit if you want. It's very nice out here. My visitors are turkeys. I had them again today. I got back from visiting Scarlett. I went to drop some stuff off. My son had all these big red Dutch ovens. It is a winter wonderland, and it should be. It's Canada, isn't it? But it's getting really warm in the sun, which is hanging out and doing absolutely nothing is coming to an end. Hey, now what's getting dark here? Are you plugged in properly? Stay plugged in. Do things right. Oh, well, we all have to have trials. Maybe that's just my trial. Is that my phone dies all the time. I was going to go snowshoeing. That was my idea this morning because it's so beautiful out. I was going to go snowshoeing down at the pond. But you know, I think I'll just go right out here. I was going to go for a beautiful walk and snowshoe, but then I decided, well, I was going to do it at Scarlett's, but I ended up hanging out and visiting with her. She's so interesting. She's always got new things she's doing. Well, hello, More Timeless. Well, let's see, More Timeless. Do we know this name? Have you changed your name? Thank you for speaking up. More timelessness. But is it just more timeless? Let's look at that again. More timeless. More timeless. Ooh, you threw an S in the middle. That was to confuse the grandmas in the group, right? More timeless. Yes, indeed. We are timeless, aren't we? We've always lived and we always will live, just not always where we are now. See, and I think that in heaven we get to, wait a minute, but I've seen you through the years and I am a Nancy also. Oh, you must be a wonderful person. All Nancys are wonderful people. Every Nancy I've ever met is an instant friend. There's Nan B on here. She's a Nancy too, or a Nan. This sun is so warm on my face. Makes me feel fine about not going snowshoeing. As long as I'm in the sun, I'm not missing anything at all. And when you guys are here, it's even better, because then I'm not alone. I know God is always with me, but you know, sometimes I just don't think about Him being here. Sometimes, you know, I got tired today. I was going to go cut those branches off the trees. What's funny is if a person forgets my name, they call me Susan. Oh no. Well, let me explain all the Susans that are here. Or did you already hear that? You were here a minute ago. So we've got Susan Ernst, that's her last name, I forgot, in Wisconsin. And we've got Suze in Kansas. And we've got Susie Q. Scott, 154 or 1954, something like that, in Alabama. And Nancy Timeless, more times less. The more times there are, the more times you have dinner, the less food there is in the cupboard, right? I'm more timeless than you are. Hey, remember that one about the I wish I were an Oscar Mayer wiener. That is what I truly like to be. 'Cause if I were an Oscar Mayer wiener, everyone would be in love with me. I'm glad I'm not an Oscar Mayer wiener. That is what I never want to be. 'Cause if I were an Oscar Mayer wiener, there would soon be nothing left of me. Those people that wrote those commercial jingles, they really were on top of it, eh? You remember Bewitched and how, what was her husband's name? And he always would go into work. He had this big board and he'd have this thing that he was going to, I'm starting to smell it. It might be starting to boil. I better go check. I miss the good commercials. Oh, Darren, yes, of course. Hi, Davy. Davy Manmore, king of the wild frontier. I wanted to make a hat like Davy Crockett, you know, with the big raccoon tail. We get enough roadkill out here. We get skunks, which I have used to make paintbrushes, and squirrels to make paintbrushes. And I would like to do a raccoon, you know, skin it and tan it, and you don't have to, well, I guess you would have to tan it, and make a rack like a Davy Crockett thing. And of course, porcupines. Wouldn't that be fun to tan a porcupine hide? Could hang it on the wall. You could make a basket out of it. This will be the don't steal me basket. Oh, we have a conversation. Oh no, that's one of those. Hey, I turned you around. Now I have to face the wall. See, if I put you in the corner, come on, let's touch that thing and get rid of it. Report. I didn't finish that. Porn. Report. Okay, there we go. You're always learning from me. The more times you come, the less you know. The more you know, the more you forget. The more you forget, the less you know. The less you know, the more you study. No, wait, I left some out. The more you study, the more you forget. No, the more you study, the more you know. Boy, I've forgotten a lot of things, haven't I? The more you study, the more you know. The more you know, the more you forget. The more you forget, the less you know. So why study? I was never much of a studier. Of course, I did like study. And as with everything else, you know, I got to get up and make sure this isn't going to boil over. I'm slow moving today. I'm pretending like I'm an old lady. I am. See my curly hair? Makes me look 2 years younger. Look at it go. Oh my goodness. Whoa. Isn't this good? I have some lentils in there too. So I've got these. Let me show you. That is some dehydrated potatoes. Willem in his glory. Dehydrated. He cooked them first, sliced them and cooked them, and then dehydrated them. So I put them in there, and I added a couple handfuls of this this is dehydrated onions. So I put in a couple handfuls of that, and then so it was only a little bit of stuff, and I put way too much water all the way to the top because it had some really good sauce last time, and it all got stuck on the sides of the bowl. Oh, and then I put in a handful of nettles. I put them in, and I rubbed them between both hands. And I put in some Cool Runnings Jamaican curry powder, Jamaican style, and a handful of lentils. And I'm going to leave it with all that water because hopefully it won't be as thick as it was last time. But I didn't add any almond stuff this time. This is my scalloped potatoes. It doesn't really look like scalloped potatoes, does it? Oh yeah, you're supposed to bake it. Whoops. Maybe it'll be just potato soup. But I don't like it to not be thick. So I'm just giving it a lot of time to reconstitute these potatoes. Isn't that going to be pretty? We're going to be eating tonight. Yes, indeed. And it won't just be junk food. No. Of course, we don't really eat junk food. You know what I did? Because what we eat for dinner, I'll tell you how we make dinner. This is how I make dinner. First, you take a big potato out of this big potato bag. And I like potatoes that are washed. And then you stick your thumb into it and you put it in the microwave for sometimes about a big one like that you might want 8 minutes. Maybe that's a little too much, but I like them wrinkled, really soft inside. And then we go in the freezer and we get out something warm with like Brussels sprouts, and we put them in a big bowl. These bowls, which are always dirty on account of how they're used for that. And then you know where we put them? Do you want to wait 8 minutes for that? No, because I could. And put them there, and they go in for about 7 minutes or so. So then when that's done and that's done, then we get 2 bowls out, split them in half, but Willem doesn't like those. So really, we need a third microwave so that we can also be doing some other kind of vegetables, like California mixed vegetables or kale. We have some corn in there and some squash. Hey, what's this doing up there? That doesn't belong there. This is the fruit cupboard, fruit shelf. Except avocados go there. And the corn is up there too. My goodness. This is all for fruit. And the bread doesn't go there. The bread all goes on this shelf down here. Hey, you see these green things? Do you remember when I was making pesto last summer? I got all of as much as I could find. These are of basil, and I put basil and garlic, and I didn't want to use pine nuts or something like that, so I used sunflower seeds, and it's so good. Yes, yes. And for meat, we love to have liverwurst. And you know, when you have your liverwurst, you cut it open and then you use some, and then you're going to end up with this piece of plastic. So you just cut the plastic off, and then you scoop it out, and then you close it back together. You squish it back together. Yes, yes, yes. I can make him be quiet. Ha ha. Oh no, what is that? Not a dirty freezer. Oh, we aren't going to look at that. But let's go back and look at this. This is going to be yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And you know what we've just discovered lately is wasabioli. Wasabioli. Garlic aioli ale. That's ale is garlic. And somewhere in here there's soybean, water, egg yolk, vinegar, horseradish, salt, sugars, garlic, natural flavor, mustard, modified cornstarch, lemon, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it tastes yummy. So we put that, you should really take that and mix it with a container of mayonnaise. And that's what we have on our potatoes when they come out of the microwave. And so it takes about 15 minutes to make a very yummy dinner. You don't usually eat meat. Only in sometimes. Sometimes if you feel like it. Then we have meat. And this is where it all happens. All this, somebody had this and sold it to us for like $40 for this huge bunch of dehydrator trays. But you have to plug it in to turn it on. We have that one from Ben, and I think that's Ben's too. We should have some Swiss chard. Look, another beautiful view. Dum da dum. See all those tracks out there? Those are not my tracks. Those are all from the turkeys. Gobble, 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 gobble. Hey, I wonder if I can call the turkeys. This is what I used to have turkeys, and watch what happens. If you do this, you wet your hand. Don't you just love these tricks I give you? You rub your hand, wet your hand, then you take it on the wood, the thing. And the turkeys all start to gobble. They just get so excited. Of course, then you have to wash your window. I wonder if they'll hear it and come. It's pretty loud, eh? Does that upset your dog? Is everybody's dog starting to get upset? Okay, I guess I should have turned that down. Don't you just love this out here? I love the reflections of, I'm not reflections, I love the shadows on the ground. Something about shadows. When you see the shadows on the ground, you know you're in the woods. Oh, I have to feed those hairy woodpeckers too. Hello, Priscilla Adkins. I don't believe I've ever made your acquaintance. This is a special time. So I have to feed these woodpeckers because you know what they've been doing? They've been eating the side of my house. They've been up there doing that. And that's not allowed. All right, so we have to stay out there the minimum time, right? Because that's where the internet always gets funky. This is not as good for them as uncooked. When it's cooked, it loses all the important vitamins. But I was desperate. How does that make them feel? Just because I was desperate. It's like feeding your children junk food because you didn't feel like cooking. Okay, let's do this. See if we can do it with one hand. Ah, what a beautiful day. Such a... Hey, red squirrel. You know, I saw a deer in the woods when I was out driving today. And I was about to yell, hi. I thought, jeepers, Nancy, you lost it. Now this might be a little more tricky. Definitely tricky, but this side might not bend, but the other side will. This is my... Okay, this isn't going to work. We'll have to put you down like that. Okay, birdies, you can have some. Come and get it. Dinner's ready. Hurry before the internet messes everything up. Hurry, we've got people here from Kansas, some from New York City. There, okay, and then we'll just hang this from here. Okay, okay, chickadees, and we'll move it over so we can see them clearly from our location. All right, now. Okay. Oh, you're upside down now. How do you feel when you get upside down? Does it make you a little lightheaded? I know life can be really rough, really, really rough. You have to take it in stride. You have to remember that it's only a trial. This is not an emergency. This is just a test. Well, this looks lovely. I'm going to turn it down. All right. Now it's going to try and boil over under all that pressure. Hey, I made tea. Did you want some? What kind should we have? Shall we have the usual? How about let's have a Foley Beach, South Carolina mug today. And what should we put in it? Ta-dum, ta-dum. This is a bit used. I think I'm going to compost that. Oops. And let's have some chamomile. I grew it. It grew. The Lord grew it. I planted it, but the Lord watered it. That's not a very good place to put you. I thought I was giving you the best seat. The best seat in the whole house. There, that's better. And now, so it's in there. Here comes the big moment. That's the cardinal. He lives in the living room clock. It smells like chamomile tea. Should we put something else in there with it? Let's put in some ginger. Ginger paste. Because we can. And if you can, go ahead, go for it. Oops, where's this? This is not full enough. This is only a half full cup. Alright, how's it now? Now, oops. Yep, it's full. Just turn around, turn around. There you go. So that's it. And over here, this is this. Doesn't it make you hungry? It smells good. Okay, now we have a wet mess here. Now I'm going to need a little table to put it beside my spot. Here's a table. I did indeed, because I felt like it. Okay, we're almost ready to sit down. We have to be available. Oops, that's it. I have to plug you up. You get to be so weak. It was my fault. Don't worry, you did nothing wrong. Now we can watch the birds when they get here. Wasn't that worth it? So Mary Jane's going to come over and visit on Friday. What's today? Thursday. Yeah, so she's coming tomorrow. We'll have to play. Forget what we were going to do. I just got the loom ready. Hey, Snow White. Are you talking about the beautiful snow out there? It's so lovely and white. If I bring this table a little closer, it might fall over. There, but I can put my elbow on it now. You see, you got to get yourself completely comfortable. You know, comfort is not just a passing thing. You got to really do it up. So when you're relaxing, you got to get the pillows all in the right spot. My name is Snow White now. On account of the turkeys, they came again. They were here when I got home. I went out to Scarlett's and then I came back. And they were here already. They were happy to be here, but then they all stretched their necks up very high and forward, and away they went. And by the time I got to the house, there was nothing left but tracks. I saw one flying down from the house. I think he might have been up on the roof or something. I could throw seeds up on the roof. I could feed them up on the upper balcony, you know. Like, they have no trouble flying up onto the railings. I was so surprised when the turkeys were on the railings. Does that surprise you? I mean, really. I think it's good to have turkeys coming around. I've gotten nothing done yet today, except I delivered those containers, those Dutch ovens, to Scarlett. But I have been wearing my orthotics. You know where I'm doing them? Because my shoes are all the wrong size shoes and everything. Look at this. I got them right in my socks. Oh, the turkeys are so cool. Turn around. There you go. The turkeys, they do make me happy. They really do. They're so unusual. I don't know. I'm not well acquainted with turkeys yet. I'm becoming acquainted. I know that if they see you and they stretch their necks up and look at you sideways, you know, I'm looking right at you. Their big eye on the side. But if you turn away and look at something else, they go back to eating. That's all that matters. But of course, I'm in the house. But when you're outside, I've never been able to get anywhere near the turkeys. You know, you'll see a flock as you drive down the back roads. And they're all there, and then all of a sudden they've all got their heads on a tall, straight necks, and away they go. It's like their head has to get there first. Unlike Mr. Dursley, Harry Potter's stepdad, not stepdad, his uncle, Uncle Dursley, whose stomach preceded the rest of his body when he would walk past the doorway. I love how, what's her name? Not Marjorie Cannan Rawlings. She was a good writer too. I love how whoever wrote that is really good at it. Willem used to read Harry Potter. He'd read all 6 books every few years. Every year, he'd read them all 6 books, start from the beginning to the end. Now he's reading them in Spanish. Boy, when he sets his mind to learning something, he really does. Where did they come from? Well, over the hills and through the woods. They just live on the planet. They're just out there. They're in the woods. We're surrounded by 5 miles that way, and about half a mile that way, and then about 2 miles that way, or 1.5 miles that way, before there's any roads. We're way out, we're in the places where they come and drop the bears off. If there's bears in the city, they take them up north and let them out. But I think they roost in trees because, you know, that's what chickens and turkeys do. They like to get up high at night, get out of the reach of whatever's on the ground. There's 4 of them in my group. Usually when you see a flock of turkeys, well, usually you see them in the summertime, right? And there's like a dozen babies and a few adults, and then the babies are all getting bigger, and by the autumn they all look the same. So we have 4 right now. And they come because I give them this whole corn. But you know what Scarlett said? She says the hunters bait bears with whole corn. I thought they put fat out. I remember being out in the woods one day, wandering somewhere else, and I found this big metal pail hanging from a tree, and it was full of fat. Maybe it wasn't hanging from a tree. Maybe it was in the opening, but I think it was fastened down. Or maybe not, but anyway, there was fat in it, which is supposed to attract the bears. There's been bears here. I saw one way over by the fence there one day, one year, and I found tracks a few years ago and I followed them. But I was going behind the tracks, right? And the tracks were kind of melted in, so they weren't like fresh, so I knew I wasn't going to run into them. They have a huge territory. But the bear I saw was also seen by one of the neighbors on the other side of my sister's land. So that was way over on the next road. And he was also seen by somebody else down this way. So he went everywhere. But you know what? My cousin Mary, you can look up Mary, she's on here. She and I went to the Gulf together. Oh my, what if the bear attacked you? Well then, I better be with somebody that I can outrun. Not really. Do you bring bear spray with you? Well, no, but they don't want to be around you. So if you make noise, they leave. They really rather eat grubs. A black bear is not like a grizzly bear. A grizzly bear, you are food. You are not on the top of the food chain when you get off the road. That was the first thing they told me in Juneau. As soon as you step off the road, you are no longer on top of the food chain. But these are just black bears. And black bears, if you're running, they might chase you. I've heard of people getting attacked when they're running. But black bears are just curious. So if you have something that smells, some food of any sort, toss it to them, and that's what they want. They're curious. Well, you know what bears do? They attack a person, and then they will drag them and leave them under some brush and leave them to rot. And then they'll come back later, kind of like the alligator. He'll drag the victim down under the water, and then he'll put it out on the north bank, so it's facing the south, so the sun is coming on it, and it'll rot it really nice and well, and then you'll come back and eat it. I've heard stories about people that a bear have left to rot. But the first thing they do, they grab you by your head and they shake you like a rag doll and break your neck. So if you ever start to get eaten by a bear, cover your head. I mean, he'll tear your limbs apart, but I don't think that's much fun. So I just sing. And I never have bears. The biggest problem with bears is if they've got a cub, a mother and a cub, and if they're separated and you're in between, you are now the threat. And so then she'll come and find you. She'll hunt you down. So that's what's the problem. But as long as you're singing and making noise, you're okay. And if you take one of those whistles, you see that pink thing? I'll turn it around and I'll make it big. Turn around. Turn around. Turn around. Come on. Oh, there it is. Oh, now I turned it too many times. Okay, let's go big on it. There, see that pink thing? That is not pepper spray. Is it pepper spray? I don't know. It's something to keep a bear away. I forget what it is. Maybe it makes a loud noise. They don't like noises. Yeah, you don't mess with Mama Bear. So if I were to go out in the woods in the spring, I should take that. That's right. But if you stay close to the Spirit, if you really stay close to the Lord, and you pray a lot, and you ask for guidance and protection, you get, I do anyway, I get a feeling that I shouldn't go a place. Like if I decide I'm going to go visit somebody, I'll know. I'll get a feeling, I'll know that it's a useless trip because they won't be home. I'll know that before I get in the car and go. And I think I've also been prompted at times. There's places I've avoided. Like once I found a bone. What kind of a bone was it? Maybe it was a turkey bone. Anyway, a bone under a bush. It was a juniper bush. And then there were all these coyote tracks. Coyotes use the same pathway. They always use the same pathway. And they'll all go in a straight line. So it will look like one animal. They put their feet right in the other one's tracks. I don't know how they can do that. All those feet in all those tracks and never get mixed up and not even watching their feet. That's pretty cool. Whereas you can tell the difference in a coyote track and a dog track because a dog will go everywhere. He'll go wandering this way and wandering that way. I mean, he's driven to distraction. He's certainly, I think dogs have ADHD. But coyotes, they go in a straight line. Anyway, but I didn't go in that area. And I don't go out in the evening in the woods. Because in the evening you hear them. You hear the coyotes. The coyotes you can hear this way, and the wolves you hear that way, and the foxes you hear that way. Animal instincts, God leads them. Yeah, but he'll also warn you of danger and difficulty. But you got to be in tune with them. So if you get all riled up about the news, you won't be able to feel the Spirit. And you won't make good decisions. Like you won't think of loving people when you see them. Not if you've been all riled up by stuff on television. I got trapped in that for a while. It's no fun. It's better to be peaceful, isn't it? Have a nice, peaceful day. It's nice when I have people like you guys to talk to. It's really nice. You know, you have no idea how nice it is. Thank you for showing up. You will lose your trust. Yeah. Yeah, and if your purpose is to do good to people, if that's your, like my slogan was be the sunshine on rainy days. And I dyed all my clothes yellow. I had all these white skirts and white blouses. And I thought, I don't like these white things. I want to wear yellow. Yellow was my color. So I dyed, I think I had 5 skirts and 7 blouses. And I dyed them all yellow. And that became my my clothing for the whole year, for the winter, and the rest of the year too. But then I lost weight and they don't fit. And of course, yellow, as soon as I eat, I ruin it. And then as soon as I wear it, look at this. See, I got a hole in this. This is a very old dress. This was my mother's. I found it in a box in the carport. I knew my mother's summer clothes, skinny summer clothes were somewhere. And this has a big thing here I had to mend. That's the thing with playing, is that you gotta wear play clothes. There's dress up and there's play. And the most important part of life is playing. See, it makes you happy. It makes other people happy. I like to play. I like to play in the snow. I love having energy and having a snowball fight. Is it, like throwing it as far as you can and maybe a competition. Hey, have you ever tried playing baseball with snowballs? Wouldn't that be fun? I wonder if the grandchildren would like doing that. They've got their devices now. What did you say? Yes, you can imagine. I can imagine in a big city it would be hard. Oh wait, you said something else. Trouble with applicating in the sun is I can't read anything anymore. Oh, it's so noisy. Yeah, that's why you don't have bears. It's so hard to feel the spirit in New York City. Yeah. Yeah, because I find that nature, like the earth has a spirit, and the Holy Spirit dwells on the earth. And when you go out in nature, you can feel it. But when there's so much hustle and bustle, you can still feel it if you pay attention. But you've got to focus inside. You can't just focus outside anymore. Because there's so much other stuff going on. People, especially New York City, can you imagine? Honking horns. Do you have a car, Zachary, or are you one of those people that takes the subway and the buses and such? It's very hard to have a car in New York City, isn't it? My church has a temple in New York City. I was going to go to it when I was in Connecticut, but they built one in Connecticut too, so I went there instead. They've been building them everywhere. There's one in New York City, and one in Boston, and one in Connecticut, and there's not one in New Hampshire or Vermont or Maine. Anyway, all those people used to go to Washington, and then they came to Toronto. There's also one in Palmyra now. We haven't been for a couple weeks, or a few weeks now. Omicron came back, and the weather was bad. Well, it didn't come back. Did you know that Denmark's death rate is like really, really high? It's like 10 times as high as the US or Canada or anything right now, or the UK. All of ours are very low, but Denmark, they took off all their masks and all the mandates. They lifted all the mandates and everybody got really sick. Oh well. I shan't think on these things. These things are divisive. My phone got too hot. Can you imagine? We was talking about turkeys and bears earlier and how if we listen to the news, it would be hard to trust people. Oh no. Hi, Susan. Maybe it's my internet. Hey, Patty. Hi, Susan. Hi, Nancy and friends. No car for me. MTA all day. Yes. I can imagine. Can you imagine what just happened? My phone got too hot. The temperature thing came on and it said, it's too hot. And so it had to turn off. Well, so it did. And then I went outside with it. I took it outside. I also unplugged it. Sometimes plugging it in makes it hot. Hi there, Susan. Yes, I see you came on while I wasn't seeing my internet. Yes, we were talking about turkeys and bears and how if we listened to the news, it would be hard to trust people. Well, and also you wouldn't be able to maybe listen to the spirit, feel the spirit when you go out in the woods, you know. You got to be able to feel the spirit so that you know where to go and where not to go. And the Lord will protect you if you depend on him. Right? Isn't there was a war in 2 Chronicles, there was a war And the Lord delivered the people because they trusted in him. Isn't that interesting? That's why they won the war, because they trusted in him. You know, this Ukraine thing, at first I thought, oh no, why fight? Just let them come in, otherwise you're all going to get killed. And then look at what they've done. Like, these people are just standing up to it. They're just all armed to the teeth. Of course, they've been sent a lot of stuff. I love watching her old videos too. I especially love her Christmas baking videos when she's making stole and listening to classical Christmas music. Hi, Jordan. How's everything over there in Ireland today? It's nice to see everyone. I felt a little bad that I hadn't made a video today this morning. I didn't even light the fire. Or maybe I did. Oh, I did make one video. Want me to tell you what I told everybody this morning? So my son, he and his coworkers, they had a challenge. Like, they had to take some of this top secret documents from one government office to another. And so they would courier it, and they would have to walk over. They would have to actually physically walk it over across the street to the other building. And they were complaining or something. The topic came up, and so my son proposed that they build a trebuchet on top of the roof, and they just throw it to the other roof and have a trebuchet on that roof to throw it back. If they had to have two, I think they only needed one. And so they all agreed, yes, that's a perfect solution. Go ahead, submit it. So they submitted it. Now get this. This is how much civil servants pay attention to what comes across their desk. So the boss approved it. Nancy's videos warm my heart and makes me cozy. I have been watching Nancy for years. I'm so glad that it makes you feel good. That's wonderful, Patty. There was a Patty Smith in my school when I grew up. You're not her, are you? You didn't grow up in Georgia. Hey, do I even know where you grew up? Where you live? Patty Smith. I don't think I've talked to you for a while. Maybe I have. I have a short memory. Oh, well, it's better to have a short memory than a short fuse, right? IF. I think that was supposed to be part of something else. Yep. Message retracted. What were we talking about? I love it when you say such nice things about me, especially when I can see what you're saying. Oh, yeah. So I was going to tell you. So my son, he submits this idea of the trebuchet. And then it passes the first level. And then that's the manager. And then it goes up to the next level, the manager, the boss's boss. And it passes that level. And then it goes up to the next level. And it passes that level. Like, to put a trebuchet on a high-rise office building in downtown Ottawa. To throw it across the street. And it kept going up. And every time I talked to him, I said, yep, it's been approved at that one. You grew up in Mississippi and South Carolina. Aha. Okay, South Carolina and Mississippi. And you're still in that area, I guess. Anyway, and so it went up and up and up and up and up, and it got to the very top level. And somebody read the proposal. And they rejected it. I wondered if it would actually go all the way to the top and be approved and be funded. I couldn't believe that they had this. If you could visit anywhere in the world, where would you go? Well, I really like the Douglas firs in Vancouver. Oh, you'd go to Scotland. You're my very favorite YouTuber, Nancy. You and Lizzie Brewer. She's a crafter and hoarder. Oh, Lizzie Brewer. I'll have to look her up. I don't usually look people up. I'm only on YouTube to find things out. Mostly I'm finding out. I watch those hints. I really like the hints. Bright Side or the Bright... Yeah, I think it's the Bright Side. And then there's the 5-minute crafts. And I learned so many things from those things. And they're so simple, these ideas. You just wouldn't have... It's like, why didn't I think of that? And I watch Red Green. Do you get the Red Green show? Oh, he's so awesome. He pretends like he's really together. And he's got this nephew who is like kind of off the wall, but the nephew is actually societally, like he's socially acceptable. He's got really big buck teeth and talks like this. And everybody treats him like he's not very smart, but he's like, well, Uncle Red. Oh yes, Outlander. I watched that. I think it's finished, right? It's only a few seasons. I think I watched it. She does a lot of scrapping of paper and fabric. Ah, and you like to sew. So you're into sewing, right? I got my sewing machine here. It's going. Well, it's not going right now. It's sitting quietly. It's behaving itself. Yes, not like this camera, which was deciding it was too hot. Imagine overheating when it's negative 13 outside. I just took you right outside, fixing that right up. Well, I was thinking about these bears, and you know, Mary has a bear. She's had bears for years, and they come in her front yard. One day she opened the door, and he was right there there's a little sort of a passageway between the door to the house and the door to the garage, and there's another door that you come in into this little tiny passageway, and you can go into the house or you can go into the garage. So you got three doors there. Anyway, so he left her main door open all the time, and the sunflower seeds were in there. And lo and behold, she came out there one day, and there was a bear in there. And he ran. Yes, I love sewing, knitting, crocheting, and weaving. Oh, do you weave as well? Oh, yeah, you have a table loom. No, they have a season 6 coming out on March 12th on Stars. I don't have Stars. I have Netflix. My son has a Netflix account that we're on. He's also got YouTube Premium, so I don't have any ads. I like that. It's very nice not to have ads. Who needs ads? I don't like ads. That's why I don't have ads on my shows, on my videos, because I think it's cruel and unusual punishment. And you guys are my friends. Why do I want to punish you, make you watch ads? That's just like the lowest of low. How could I possibly subject my friends to that? Oh no, you can't listen to me, not until you've seen my ad. Just a small hand weaving loom. We've been watching something of the heart. Forget what it is, but this rich city girl, comes to the woods in northern Canada, and it's really wild there. And there's an RCMP guy he's got his big flat rimmed hat, and he's got his red jacket and his black pants and his horse. I thought that was so cool in Ottawa when they brought the horses out. I just thought, and I wondered, how is the horses going to do anything? Well, they just walk through the crowd, and it makes the crowd move away. I think I liked it, but you know, I don't remember which one it was. There was Shetland. I'll have to look at it. I always like murder mysteries. I just like mysteries. Maybe you don't need to have a murder mystery. Maybe there could be a different kind of mystery. Like White Collar. I like that one. Except there was sex in it. I find the first season is always good, but the second season they got to throw in sex. And it just gets worse from there. And the blood, guts, and gore. Blood, guts, and gore. Blood, guts, and gore. Blood, 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 guts, 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 blood, guts, and gore. Wonder if I could play that on the violin. Or to the dump. How does that one go? From the dump it cometh, and to the dump it shall return. Forget how that goes. The dump, the dump, the dump. We're taking it to the dump. The dump, the dump, the dump. We're taking it to the dump. Oh, the dump, the dump, the dump. Hey, have you heard that song, the song that never ends? This is the song that never ends. It just goes on and on, my friend. Some people started singing it not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever just because this is the song that never ends. It just goes on and on, my friend. Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever just because this is a song. Isn't that a great song? I think that was Shirley Lewis. Is that her name? She had a. Hey, you remember Topo Gigio? He was Ed Sullivan's. It was Topo Gigio. Hi, Grateful. Grateful Johnny. Johnny be grateful. Johnny be good. Remember that song? Anyway, so about the bears. So Mary had that bear in her foyer. And then and it bent. She had this hook and it went in the ground and the bear pushed the hook and bent it. And it was a steel rod. You heard that one before? Shirley Lewis. What was her name of her puppet? Hey, you know what? I had an ancestor who was a ventriloquist. I have a thing on the wall. It was a poster that they put out, he'll throw his voice to the bridge. Sherry Lewis, that's right, RRI, Sherry Lewis. Yeah, she was really good. Well, Gardner Kenyon. He made so much lamb chop, of course, lamb chop. Lamb chop. Aw, lamb chop was a cute little lamb. He was nice. I hope you're not getting too hot in the sun again. She died very young, cancer. Hello, everyone. It's so nice of you to come. It's so nice to have. There's a song like that. I forget what it was. You loved lamb chop. Hi, Suze. You're in Kansas. I got to keep all the Susans straight. So there's Susan Ernst in Wisconsin, Suze in Kansas, Susie Q Scott in Alabama, and what was the other Sue today? She's from Kansas. Wait a minute. Let's go back up here. Way up. Way up. L2 was here at the beginning. Where's Suze? Oh, yeah, Suze, you're in Kansas. That's right. Now I got it straight. Sorry. It takes a little bit. Anyway, so Mary had this bear outside in the yard. I've been to Mary's house. I think that you can probably find a whole playlist of videos about Mary. She was the one removing the rocks on the car trail, and she was holding the camera when I did the dressing in layers. I like dressing in layers. But people look at you pretty weird when you have too many layers on. Whatever. And I guess you couldn't do that, Zachary, in New York City. I guess you got to toe the line or people will look at you weird, eh? That's the trouble with being around people is there's a lot of judging. You know, the nice thing about going in the woods is I feel safe. I feel totally safe. I can hear things enough to know if anything's not safe. But things are always safe. It's like your dream to see an animal. Like to see a wild animal, much less to get attacked by one. I mean, it's really rare. Everybody minds their business. Oh, that's good. Nobody looks at each other. You're having mixed berry tea. It's so wonderful. Tastes like raspberry. That sounds good. I have some right over there on that table. But it's in the sunshine and you have just had sunstroke. So I have to be very careful to keep you out of the sun. So my hand is like this to keep you safe. I don't want you to get sick and die in the middle of the afternoon. That would just not be good. So she had this one bear and it bent the pole. And then in the backyard, she had another pole. And her son is a welder or a blacksmith. So he makes these amazing, like my pumpkin out there. You've seen the pumpkin. Oh, you've probably seen videos of him. Izzy Fitch. He runs Battle Hill Forge, or I think that might be it. Anyway, and so he had made this other thing, and it had a whole bunch of poles to it, and they were all tied together. It was all metal and had balls at the top. Well, the bear had broken too. But now there's a cub. There's just not really a young one, but there's a bear, and he'll come in the summertime. He'll come and he'll sit there in the front yard, and he'll eat everything in the bird feeder, and then he'll just lie down and have a nap. And he'll wander around the house, and Mary will sit out there on her porch, and he's out there in the yard, and they just enjoy. We speak to everyone, including their dog, here in Kansas. That's nice. Georgia, they're very friendly too. I'm making some chai tea now. Well, I did label this tea time, and is it about 3? Or what is the time? It says 2:45 on that clock, so it must be what, 3:45 or 1:45? It's right twice a day. Anyway, so she has this tame bear out there, and he just eats from the feeder. She had raccoons. She feeds her raccoons. She makes some oatmeal stuff and whatever every day. And so she puts that out for them on a dish. And so they always come and they eat dinner at her house. My raccoons just live under the deck. I had 5 babies, not last year, but the year before that. North hunting and fishing. Now, how far north are we talking? Like, is this way up north in the Yukon? Can't go too far north, or then you just have caribou. There's no bears up there. Or salmon fishing in up in the north. They got some good salmon rivers up in the north, don't they? It's nice when you all talk to each other and you ask each other how you are, because then I can know how you are, because I can't take a pause to ask and to wait, because I am on duty. I mean, my job is to talk. I think it's the best job in the world. Yep, you could just talk about anything you want. Just say what you want to say. Get it out. It's like therapy. It is. It's therapy. So anyway, about her bears. So she has this bear, and he's not dangerous to her at all. Of course, she doesn't get close to him. He's out there in the yard, but he's not too far away. And I think it would be, where do I broadcast from? Broadcast. Get that. That's like I've risen up in the world. My living room. Actually, I'm in the family room. It's Canada. Oh, Canada, our home and native land. That's where it comes from. We're coming to you today from Canada. And so where do you go fishing in the north? Are you a guide? Do you have a lodge? People come to your lodge? That would be fun. Those are expensive. Like, people pay $5,000 10 years ago or 20 years ago to go to those lodges. I think that's just how much it costs to get there now. It's pretty in Canada. NHF. Now that's good. Northern Hunting and Fishing. I used to write for Outdoor Life magazine. I went to a conference once of these basket makers. I'm Basque Country of Spain. Oh, you're in Spain. Well, I thought you said in Canada. That was me? That was an upside down head. You're from Spain in the Basque Country, and so up north there, hunting and fishing. And what sort of stuff do you hunt in Spain? Spain is like the resort country. My husband, Willem, he lived in Netherlands, in Holland. And in the summers, they would go to Spain and I don't know, they would drive from Holland to Spain. It took them forever and ever and ever because they didn't have any big highways back then. Now all the big highways are pretty slow too because they got slow. So anyway, about the bears. I think it would be fun to have a bear in the yard somewhere, but I have grandchildren. But I've heard that animals, that they trust children. There's this thing between children and animals. That's the Wisconsin Susan, not to be confused with the Kansas Suze and the Alabama Susie Q. Scott. Is there just 3 of you? I thought there was more. It is what it is. Or, as they say in Willem's world, it's what it's. Is that you, dear? Yes, it's. Are you going out now? Yes, I'm. Oh, it's fun to be married to him. He's pretty cool. He likes me the way I am. I told you about the time I was chopping up a deer on my counter, and I was really getting tired of it. My back was hurting because I was standing so long, and I was kind of bored with it, and it wasn't working, and I had to saw through the backbone. There's 4 of us that come here from Wisconsin. Yep. Those would be, let's see, Regina, Susan, Ellen, and Rose. And they're all going to come see me in the summer. Isn't that going to be fun? We're going to have an awesome time. We're going to go camping. Yep. We're going to camp and we're going to have campfires. Every night we're going to have a campfire. We're going to camp at a campground, a church campground. And the campfires will all be made by all of them. So we can just enjoy it without having to work hard. I know it would be dangerous to have a bear because I have grandchildren, so I'll probably never do it. But I think it would be fun to have a bear coming around. But we've been here 25 years and we've never had a bear not come to the house. Of course, we don't cook meat. I think it makes a difference if you cook meat. I think they smell it and they want some. I want some. Has anybody ever watched Red Green? The Red Green Show? He comes up with the most outrageous ideas. What was his idea for yesterday? The other day he put all the push mowers together and he tied them all to the front of the car and then he drove with the push mowers going in front. He had the windshield wiper fluid was filled with seeds, with wildflower seeds. You won't be able to. I'll probably have the stupid heart surgery. I'll find out on Monday. No nonsense. You'll be fine. You'll be up here before you know it. Why, they're lifting restrictions as we speak. Boy, once they open those borders, we'll be flocking everywhere. But you know, how can people justify traveling by airplane when we hear about what the climate's doing? But there's so many people that just, they don't think it affects them. I guess, you know, we've never experienced it before, right? So it's like we never had a pandemic before, so we never knew what it would be like. And we don't know what it would be like when the climate gets worse. It's pretty bad this year, isn't it? Everywhere has got terrible. Did you know they're having, in Sydney, Australia, which is desert where it doesn't rain, they have people on the roof with water up to their necks. I kid you not. Why? Can you imagine? That's like, yes, well, maybe I'll have to come see you. Now there's a thought. Road trip. Every time I get in the car with Willem, he said, I think I need to go to town for blah, blah, blah. I say, I get in the car, road trip. In the summertime, when the lake's not frozen, we like to go, he now likes it too, but Mary Jane likes to go to lakes and watch the sunset. And so I took a cue from her and we went to lakes in the evening, you know. So we would go watch the sunset at the lake. And we live in lakes country in Ontario, so there's no shortage of lakes. Sometimes you have to leave early in the afternoon to get to another lake, a certain lake. But you know, we got one down here 5 minutes away. There's another one back here about 10 minutes that way. I'm glad you're going to get your surgery. I hope you don't have to wait much longer. I was so lucky to get both my hips done, you know. Like if it was done 5 years ago, and I thought you had to wait till you were 65, but I was only 60 at that time. I saw the video of the wild turkeys. If they were so close to the door here, some would be in the gut and others in the freezer. Yes, indeed. Well, if you put them in the freezer, then you don't get to see them on the deck. That's the only downfall. But I do know my dear friend Frank. You know, Frank is my wilderness guy. He taught me all the names of the plants you can use them for. And he lives out there in the woods and he grafts trees and he puts away everything. And he's quite the hoarder. Oh my gosh, he's got this stack of microwaves. There must be 100 microwaves in there. Anyway, whatever. Anyway, so oh, one day he hit a deer and he brought it home. He brought it here actually, and we were out there gutting it in the middle of the night, and he had like thousands of mosquitoes on his body. I said, "You want some repellent?" No, no, I'm good. No, no. What was I going to say about Frank? It was something else. Something about the animal. Oh yeah. He put this a cow catcher thing, the rods on the front. And he said if he sees a turkey, he'll speed up. He used to have some llamas. He would have these great big bonfires, and he had just gotten llamas, and we named them Cassiopeia. It was a beautiful starry night. That was one of his llamas we named. He had 3. Now he has he had 40 dogs, but now he has 20. He has 3 teams, and he has a sled, and he takes his sled out, and he likes to just get on the sled at the back door and go out across the wilderness. And back here, it's all back roads, you know, but he can go on trails in the woods, but you have to have enough snow or it'll wreck your sled. Dogs don't really care, I suppose. Boy, but when he ties those dogs on, they're just hopping to go. I videoed that, but I got tired of standing there holding it. He says, "Could you hold this for a minute?" And then he was doing something else. And so I was holding the front of the sled or something. And then I thought, well, it's a little bit far away. I should just step up onto it and then I can hold it. So I stepped up, and the moment I stepped up, it was like, whew, like a bullet. We were off. He told me yesterday that, or the other day, he said that the dogs were not going very fast. That was a really slow time. He ran alongside and caught them and jumped up and stopped them. Can you imagine? I was filming and holding on. It happened so quickly. I don't know how long it is. Hey, I should make a clip out of that. That would be a good clip, wouldn't it? Okay, so you can get a word in edgewise now if you want, or maybe I'll just read what you've said. Well, we're mostly vegetarian, mostly vegan. Don't eat anything from cows because it makes me hurt. But sometimes we have other kinds of meat. Saves having to buy B12. But I don't really like the whole meat industry and all that stuff. I had a wild beaver once. We had a trapper come in. We had a bunch of beavers, and they were cutting down all the trees in the woods, and they were flooding the whole woods. And you can't do anything about the beavers. If the beavers want to be there and you take their dam away, they'll just cut more trees and make their dam again. So taking out the dam is not the answer. Something's happening out there. But this curtain is in the way. So my son is going to give me his garage door opener, and I don't have a garage. So what should I use it for? Push the button and it pulls something. Si me voy con los squimales lo más al norte que pudiese también mi abuelita Trudeau, mi presidente me apuró porque no quiero más tele ni radio ni internet, solo ver pingüinos y focas. I'm not sure what those words mean. Si me voy, if I go con los squimales, if I go with the squirrels, lo más al norte, the more northward, que pudiese is could, right? So if I go north, the squirrels could also me aborita aborir. What does aborir mean? Aborit aboria. That's subjunctive of aborir. Trudeau. Why would it be about Trudeau? People say bad things about Trudeau, but just vote differently. Just vote for the next guy. You just have to. It's a democracy, and he called out the emergency act, but it was in force for 10 days. The only purpose was to clear the streets so that the people of Ottawa could stop suffering. It was really a terrible situation for the people of Ottawa. And, oh, we're going to stay until the mandates are lifted. Like, you just can't build buildings. Like, could you do that on the front lawn of the White House? Build a building and park all your trucks and decide you're not leaving until they do what you want? Like, that's holding your country hostage. You can't do that. It's a democracy. You have to wait and vote them out and vote for, you can run for office if you want to do things differently. That's what democracy is about. They rewrote in English below. Sorry, I put it in Spanish. If I went with the Eskimos as far north as I could, would Trudeau also bore me? My president bores me. I don't want more TV or radio or internet. Just see penguins and seals. Ah, no, Trudeau's fine. We don't really hear about him too much. He's just out there. He did legalize pot. And what else did he do? I don't know. Seems like life in Canada goes along pretty well. Whatever he's doing, it's not too bad. You don't hear too much crap from the opposition, except this thing about the mandates. Well, people have not minded the mandates. Everything has been going along. The whole government was fine with it. But then after this trucker strike thing, and then all the politicians, there was a lot of contrary stuff. And it was sort of like, is this unconstitutional to not let them protest? But it had become an occupation and not a protest. And the things they were saying, like they wanted to assassinate Trudeau. Like they really, well, why doesn't he come out and talk to us? He won't talk to us. Well, would you, if you were president? Does your president go out and talk to the protesters, even if they're nice and peaceful? Above people should only be God. Yes. God is good. Yes. Anyway, so let me go back and read your Spanish again. Si me voy con los squimales. So squimales is Eskimos, eh? Eskimos is not a nice word. We're not supposed to call them that because it means savage. So we're supposed to call them Inuit. So the Inuit who live up north. They've got their own province now. It used to all be the Northwest Territories. And now they cut a whole bunch of it and up on the east side, up at the top. Well, all in the eastern, that's Labrador. Well, they're way out east is Newfoundland, and then you come a little further in, and there's Nova Scotia, and PEI is an island. And then there's Quebec, and up at the top is Newfoundland, which is part of Labrador. I don't know why they call it Newfoundland and Labrador, because they're not even connected. But that's one province, Newfoundland and Labrador. And then you come in, and then that's none of it. I'll have none of it, please. Nunavut. I would like to go there. I'd like to go there on a press trip. I would like somebody else to pay for it. Then I could travel the world again. I'd also like to go to the moon. That was when I stopped being a travel writer. I decided that was what I was going to do. I also know Esquera. Don't know what that one is. Yes, if you're out there in the woods a lot, you're quite close to God in the woods, aren't you? I like it out in the woods. Most of the time I'm out. Lisa G. A debate. Should a sandwich or burger be smushed before eating? I remember doing that. I was laughing because it's hilarious. Like, why would you want to smush your sandwich? But if you've got white bread and peanut butter and jam, or maybe even peanut butter and honey, and you smush it, oh, that would be fun. Yeah, I have these beavers, and they know me now. And they're not too worried about me. Like, I was canoeing in their moat. It's my moat, but they think it's their moat. And since they don't run by my rules, then it's okay. That can be their moment. But anyway, so what do you think, Lisa? I should not settle the debate. I should say, and what is your feeling on the matter? How do you feel about the situation? And what is your general? But now, if it's like lettuce and mayonnaise and turkey, or turkey and mayonnaise on white bread, that used to be so good. Oh my gosh. I remember daydreaming. I was in grade 9, sitting in Mr. Malouf's political science class. Canadians have a sense of humor. They do indeed, yes. You just have to listen to the arrogant worms. They are the ones that sing, "We've got rocks and trees and trees and rocks and rocks and trees and trees and rocks and water in Canada." Oh, and then there's the I'm a Canadian. We don't have caps. We have toques. You know, the ones that are knitted cap with a little thing on the end, maybe, or not necessarily, but that's a toque. And a Chesterfield instead of a couch. And I have a joke book. I wonder where it is. Yeah, you look up "I am Canadian." Of course, then you get Molson beer commercials. That's the "I am Canadian" as they sort of took it over. But there's also, yeah, and Newfoundlanders. Newfoundlanders, we used to make jokes when I grew up that make Polish jokes. And now they make Newfoundlander jokes in Canada. We are excellent people, aren't we? I'm the squisher, especially with chips. A chip sandwich needs to be squished by law. Well, I think that's an awesome idea. Yes. And I think if you'd like to squish it, then you should squish it. Chip sandwich squished. I don't eat bread, so, you know, a chip sandwich for me would be 2 pieces of lettuce with chips inside. You know, I go to Arby's. We do have Arby's, but you have to go to Kingston to get the Arby's. I don't even think there's one in Ottawa. I think you have to go all the way to Kingston. And I don't think there's any north. I mean, there's nothing north. One day we went north. I said, let's go this way and go to a restaurant. You have to go like hundreds of miles to get to anything. But anyways, nothing up north except more deer. And do you know they have no deer crossing signs? Like, why don't they have deer crossing signs? I think they should have little red flags that they put. I think I could get a lot of little red flags. This is my plan. Take all these little red flags and put one by the side of the road everywhere you see the deer tracks. And you just put it there. And then you'll always know when you come down the road, if you see a little red flag, there's deer crossing right there. I mean, it's not good enough to put it like next to the town or, you know, say next 10 miles deer. Like near Ottawa, if you go from Ottawa toward Montreal, there's on that highway, I think it's the 417, becomes a 17 maybe. Anyway, and it's got moose crossing signs on it for next 10 miles or something. But I think those little red flags right by the thing would be the perfect solution. Now, how could I do that? What would I need to use to do that? I would need little pieces of wire. Oh, which you could get together if you were going to make little flowers, right? Hey, what if you used artificial flowers? Well, you don't want it to be trashy. Once I had an appointment where I was born and told him that I don't remember that a she-wolf raised me, so I marked my territory with urine and howled at the moon. And you were blocked from WhatsApp. That's a good one. That's a good one. What's the name of that story? It was written by Rudyard Kipling, was it? It wasn't a Burgess book. Did you ever read the Burgess books? Oh, I loved them. Reddy Fox and Sammy the Squirrel. What a funny thing. Once I had an appointment where I was born and told him that I don't remember that a she-wolf raised me, so I marked my territory with urine and howled at the moon. I was blocked from WhatsApp. Ah, well. I think that when you get blocked from social media, it doesn't mean that they are taking away your free speech. People got that really confused. I don't have to, if you write a letter to me and I'm making video, I don't have to read your letter on my video. Why would I have to do that? If you want to post something on a WhatsApp or a thing that's, against, it's not true or something, and they block you, that's not denying your free speech. You can stand outside and say it every day. You can say it everywhere. You can write letters to the editor, but you don't have to print it. You have the right to say it, but you don't. But there's also freedom of the press. I think freedom of the press is really important. Just because somebody's out there saying something doesn't mean that people have got to publish it. Nancy today for mayor. Vote now. Boy, I'd have this country in top shape. That's right. I'd say, all right, we're going to have every Friday, we're going to declare a national holiday, and it's going to be for kayaking. And, oh, look, it's a husband. I have one of these. Hi.
Hey, dear.
That's my Willem. Did you get eggs?
I did.
And look at that. You got broccoli. Woohoo, but not a third microwave. Oh, well, I forgot to tell you. And you got some of my bread, too.
Indeed.
It's hard to... Oh, I'm sorry. I messed up this floor, the rug. That's on account of having to move the couch. Because, my phone got hot. Oh, wait. An idea? They are stories to laugh a little. Maybe what you could do is take bread spray paint and spray paint the snow. Susan says hi. It's nice to see you. Susan says hi. It's nice to see you.
Hi, Susan.
Oh, and I think Mary Jane's coming tomorrow, too.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Right.
I know the animals would love to have her for me. Yeah, I invited her to come up and have a break. Maybe she'll go snowshoeing with me.
To come up and have a break?
A break from life. She lives, she doesn't live in the woods. She lives in well, she has a woods behind her.
Mary Jane or Mary Jean?
Mary Jane.
Mary Jane, okay.
Yep, MJ.
Okie dokie.
Yes, indeed. Maybe she'll make banana bread for you again. Remember how she sterilized the spoon? Willem said, "Is that spoon sterile?" And she said, "Yep, I just licked it." Yep, and then there was the Pringles incident, but the Pringles fell over. Ask Willem if I ran for mayor, would you vote for me?
Interesting question. I might not. Because I'm selfish.
You're selfish?
Yeah, it would take too much time away from me.
Aw, what a sweetheart. What a lovely thing to say. And and it's not because I cook for him, because we really don't get... Willem would be kayaking every Friday. If I was mayor, I would declare Fridays a national holiday every Friday, and you would have to kayaking.
I see.
All the kayaks are free on Friday. He would be given a kayak when they turn 16.
I see.
That's it. That's right. Well, you think that's a good idea? No, you think people should pay for it? Okay, well, we'll raise taxes $100 per person once in their lifetime. And we'll spread it out. So it's $3 a year. So everybody pays...
I'll leave you to fantasize about it more.
$3 a year. And that would cover all the kayaks, so we wouldn't have a socialist system. You see, we have to be careful. We don't want people to say bad things about us up here. But if you start a fire in your yard, you don't have a permit and it gets out, he said no. Tell your friend that there is one from Bilbao to see if he knows where it is. Bilbao. Okay. What did he say? He said no. He said at first he thought about it. No, I don't think so. I'm selfish. And that's sweet. He says, I want you all to myself. I wouldn't want you to spend so much time away from me. Isn't that nice? I made a pincushion for a contest on Lizzie Brewer's channel. Lol, I think the prize is a journal. I hope I win. Oh, isn't that cool? I once made something and sent it somewhere, and it was a trade. You had to trade baskets, and I made this pine needle basket. It was the most beautiful pine needle basket with a handle. It was an Easter basket, and it cost me 20 bucks to send it. And the other girl sent me this big shell and a little bit of pine needle around the edge. I felt gypped. And is there mail for me?
No, this is just the tax assessment. The
Bills.
tax assessment that I just paid.
Oh, and there did they? Oh, that was the old paperwork from it.
Yeah, so it was in 2018. I made a mistake. I interchanged two digits, and so
Oh,
my declared tax was about $7,000 less than on the slip.
then the really thing.
And so anyway. So I had to pay some more taxes.
Well, it gives you something to do. Yeah. We can scrimp. We've scrimped before, and we can scrimp again. Use it up, wear it out, make it do or do without. I'm running out of new things to say. I noticed that I'm recycling things. You know, at the end of the videos, I always say you can do this at home. You saw it here last, and you can do this at home. Results may differ.
Oh, anyway.
Yes?
So this is my red. It might not be safe for you.
Oh,
If any leftover
it's spelt.
grains, they just made into this bread. It is half price, so
Oh, I see. It's half rice. Okay.
half price.
Half price. Oh, okay then. I don't usually have yours anyway. I have quinoa bread they make. It's so good. It's really moist. You don't have to put anything on it. It's just really good. Doesn't have sugar in it. And I think it's sourdoughs and I don't know how they do it. It must rise them for a week. So it's been making sourdough bread and it takes
So
forever.
the deer feed, where does the deer feed go?
Um
Is it out there?
well, except that's got the corn in it for the turkeys.
Okay.
We don't have enough. Oh, there's a bin just inside of the door, beside my chair. It had photo albums in it. It was where I put all my dishes and stuff.
It's a big bag there.
Yeah, well, it could. I don't know. What do you want to do with it? Where do you think we should put it?
No, anywhere in the house, I suppose.
Okay, then we have lots of extra room in the house.
Okay. Maybe just be it behind that couch.
Well, then I can't move the couch. That wouldn't work. Maybe, how about out on the other side, beside the Christmas tree?
Okay.
Then it's right by the doorway, and that's where I feed the deer anyway. Or it could go in the bedroom, right beside the bedroom door. Now, put it by the living room door.
Okay.
At the end of the living room.
Right.
So that would be it would be next to the east corner of the house.
Next to the Christmas tree, right?
Yeah, next to the Christmas tree. But don't block the Christmas tree in because otherwise it'll be living there until the bag is empty. Of course, it'll probably be living there till the bag is empty anyway, no matter where you put the bag. I did turn off the Christmas lights the other day.
Yeah, I know this.
Yeah, so now when the lights are on outside, I know that it's a deer or a cat. Now, what were we talking about before we were so rudely interrupted? I was talking about what Nancy said, Patty, about getting gypped. I think that's so cool you made this pincushion for the contest, and the prize is a journal. That's good. I took my journal with me today and did stuff in it. I should have a contest. Well, I did have a contest in the local area. I said a snowman making contest. I said that when the snow was coming down. The deadline is you can start your submissions as soon as the snow finishes falling. But then I didn't, and they would go as long as they wanted. The snow doesn't stay packy very long, does it? Not up here in the Northland. So that's interesting that you call in Spain north hunting and fishing in Spain? What do you hunt for there? Deer? I think in the warm climates, the deer are very small, aren't they? You come up here and they're big. You hit a deer, if it hits your windshield, deer are pretty dangerous. You're not supposed to swerve to miss a deer. North hunting and fishing, deer. Do you have bears? You know, when the East and the West of Europe were split, in Germany, there's this 10-mile wide or 10-kilometer wide. There was a fence on one end and a fence on the other end, and so there were no people in there. And the animals, the wildlife in there were amazing. Not 10 miles wide, a mile wide. I don't know, maybe it was 10 miles wide. Probably had to be wide enough that somebody couldn't just zip through the fence and be free. There are bears in Asturias, but they cannot be hunted. Where's Asturias? I don't really know the geography of Spain. The capital of Spain is Madrid, and the national sport is bullfighting and soccer. And what is it, the part that you're in that starts with a B? It was tried to separate, and the government put their foot down. No, that wasn't going to happen. Hey, what would you ask me to ask Willem? Quick, before he goes away. Hey, Willem? Where is Bilbao? Bilbao. There's somebody on here. There's somebody on my channel from Bilbao. Bilbao.
It's a city in Spain.
Do you know where it is?
Bilbao, in the north coast of Spain.
North coast? Did you camp near there or holiday?
We traveled near there when I was a teenager. My family, mom and dad and other family traveled together on the way to Santander, which is on the north coast, northwest coast. Yeah.
Pretty cool, he knew.
Yeah.
Yes, you can make homemade. Do you know where Astuриas is?
That's a province. That's the northwest province.
The northwest province.
All the way near the Atlantic Ocean.
And what part of Spain was the Basque was trying to separate from the rest of Spain?
That is around Bilbao. Around that corner.
Well, that's where this person is from.
Yeah, part is in France, part is in Spain.
Interesting. Your house will always smell good too. You can always make homemade. I do make homemade. Patty, what about getting gypped? Patty, what do you mean getting gypped? Oh, yes, because people have to, if I was mayor, I wouldn't really be able to do anything because there's the council. And so you have to have the council on your side. You really have no more leverage than the council. Everybody has to agree, or you have to have a certain percentage agree. Democracy is a good thing. What month is Christmas in Canada? Why, Patty, it's December 25th is Christmas. It's the same day in the whole world. Just in some parts of the world, it's summer. And they don't have snow. I love snow. I don't want it to go away. Then it'll be work and bugs. But I mustn't think negative thoughts. But every year I feel the same way. I used to really dread winter in the autumn. As soon as the leaves started to change color, it was like, oh no, it's almost over. No. Then I got more depressed. But then I got antidepressants. I'm on Celexa. And I start taking that when I start getting bummed out in the fall. And it's not because, it's just that there's less light. And I take that, and now I'm just normal all year long. I'm just one perfectly, well, that was a rather silly thing to say because there's nothing about me that's perfectly anything. I was talking about the contrast you sent the basket and got crap back. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I felt I was a little bit gypped, but I shouldn't think that way. Because to her, she might have been making what she found to be the most amazing thing. Somebody that always makes baskets, then if you have something different, like that thing over there. So here is this pine needle thing I made. When we went to Marion, Florida, we went to on our Gulf Coast trip. There's a lot of videos about that. There was a pile of oyster shells, and that's on the video. And I picked it up, and then I put holes in it. See the little holes there? You can see that one on the right side. Anyway, and so I thought, like, that's a really beautiful little thing, right? And I did a good job on those stitches. They really look perfect. I'm never selling my stuff because the only thing people would want is all the perfect stuff, and then I'd be left with just the crap. At least if I have something perfect. I'm learning English, and the ones that are best listened to by ear are Ireland, UK, and Canada. I watch fishing videos of a man from Tennessee and have to put on the translator. Oh, yes, well, I'd have to put on the translator too. And if they're from Newfoundland, Newfies, and Southerners, I listened to myself this morning. I listened to myself. I have an accent. I have a Southern accent. I never realized that. I didn't think I did. I think that the more comfortable I get, the more relaxed I am, the more I have a Southern accent. Y'all come back now here. People in Georgia were very nice. People in Canada, a lot of, like when this thing happened in downtown Ottawa, all these Canadians were all being friendly with each other and hugging and everything. And that's just not your normal Canadian behavior. I mean, your normal Canadian behavior is kind of proper. Well, except for me. And people, they're very tidy. They keep the roads clean. You never see trash flying around the roads ever, ever on any roads, except in the spring. In the early spring, you might see stuff. Oh, and I go down there and I pick up all the trash on the side of the road every year with my grasper. You got to get the grasper and then lift the cups upside down so the water will come out. A lot of Tim Hortons stuff out there that gets thrown out of the cars. But everything gets cleaned up. So although there's might be messy people out there, there's so many clean people out there that it doesn't stay there very long. It's not like where I've been in some cities in South. He is smart. I've been in some cities in the South, and well, not really South, but anyway, just some highways in some places, maybe like New York City or somewhere. But there'll be a fence, and it'll be like the bottom foot of the fence will have trash all stuck to the fence. I don't ever see that here, and I never see retreads on the side of the road. When I go back and forth to Georgia, there was retreads all down there. But I think that I know that somebody lost his muffler on the highway and he called the police to tell them about it. And he had not stopped to pick it up. And I think they charged him for that. Because you aren't allowed to leave things on the road that could be a hazard. You know, you just got to take care of it. Hey, did you ever hear the story about um, the king, and the prize was going to be he who walks the highway the best. The king had just built a new highway, and it was to everybody, all the people. He called all of the kingdom to go for a walk on the highway, and to walk their best walk, have the best walk ever. And so some people got very ornamented, you know. Some people brought their dogs. Some people, everybody, the whole kingdom, they all dressed for it, and they walked the highway. And on in the highway there was this, they would get to the other end, and the king would say, and tell me, what did you think of the highway? Oh, it was the most beautiful highway, but there was this terrible pile of debris on the highway at some point. It was really hard to get around it. Or, oh, you're on citalopram too. It was really hard to get over this pile or to get around this pile. And so all these people came, the whole people came, and then hours and hours later, an old man comes. He's carrying a bag, a little bag, and And he says to the king, king says, how did you like the highway? He says, well, sorry it took me a long time, but there was this big pile of debris on the highway, and by the time I'd cleared it, I found this bag of gold under it, and I knew it, this is your gold. This is your highway. So here's your gold. And he says, no, that's your prize. He who walks the highway best is the person that leaves it better for the one that comes along behind. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. People are coming and going. Now there's a phrase about people are coming and going so fast here. How does that go? Once a guy told me hello. I'm Australian. I told him Australians don't exist. You're English. You got too much sun. Too much. That's right. Back in the olden days, they would send criminals to Australia and to the United States, to the colonies, if you were bad enough. Isn't that a wonderful story? I love that story. I'll tell it to you again because it was so nice talking about it. So once upon a time, a king builds a beautiful new highway. And he calls everybody in the kingdom together, proclamation. And everyone is to walk the highway, and there will be a prize for the one that walks it the best. And people could interpret what the best was. And so some people dressed up very nicely, and others took things with them. And whatever it was, maybe some people thought of it as a hike, and some maybe sightseeing, and maybe some with their cameras. There probably wasn't cameras back then. And so everybody at the end of you don't hear the southern accent. I must not be very relaxed. Boy, I'm sure talking a lot like I've got a lot to say. Anyway, I just say whatever pops into my head. You're supposed to put brain in gear before engaging mouth. But mine doesn't function that way. My mouth starts first. And once the mouth gets going fast enough, then the brain kicks in. But if you're in the southern yes, well, I definitely get more and more southern as I'm down there with my mother. My brother had a real drawl. Wait a minute, I'm in the middle of a story. I must stay on focus. So when they get to the other end of the highway, the king interviews everybody and to see if they won the prize. How did you walk the highway? And so everybody would say the same thing. They all say, oh, it's a lovely highway, but there was this big pile of debris. It really shouldn't be that. That was really made the trip kind of difficult. It was hard to get over it or around it. I got dirty. Look, I ripped my dress, But I'm here. It was a lovely highway otherwise. It's a beautiful highway. Except for that one thing. And then hours after everybody else is done, this one old man comes along and he's looking pretty dirty and tired. And he's carrying a bag of gold. And he says, the king asks him, how do you like the highway? And he says, well, it was a beautiful highway. There was a pile of rubble on the road. And I have something for you. There was a pile of rubble on the road, and once I had cleared it all away, I found this bag of gold. So it's yours. I brought it to you. And he says, no, it is yours. For he who the one who walks the highway best is the one who leaves it better for the ones that come behind. So even if you're going to move, you should grow a garden where you are. And let the people that move in have the garden. And plant fruit trees. Wherever you live, plant fruit trees. Because, of course, that's the first thing that becomes hard to get if we've got a shutdown. I mean, a break in the, not a shutdown, but a break in the supply chain for whatever reason. Because everybody's out protesting. But then if you leave the world better for the next people that come along. Now we're back up to 6 people. We had 9 people, and then we had 8, and then we had 3, and then we had 4, and now we have 6 again. It just keeps fluctuating. And they say when I finish, it says how many minutes the average person watched it. It's usually like 3 minutes or something. There's only so much you can take before you realize that this person you're listening really doesn't have a clue. Hi, Regina, you're back. How did your DoorDash go? Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, dashing all the day. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits light. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing. Hey, you could put bells on your snowshoes. Sleighing song tonight. That would keep the bears away. 13-year-old male from Napanee has been located in good health. Napanee OPB would like to thank, and now it's gone. It was a notification. I watch a lot of Nancy, sometimes all day, lol. Well, it's good to have something that you like to watch because especially if you've got health problems and you've got to sit around. Can't believe you have no snow. But it's only the 1st of March. You will have snow again, won't you? Like our snow is usually gone at Abe's birthday in April. But it's not usually gone before that. But we always have a big storm in March. Well, I'm kind of running out of things to say. Look at that. I've been going nonstop for 120 minutes. Can you believe that? I decided to rename all of my Minecraft videos to Grandma's Minecraft. Then the youth can look at them and think, oh, this will be good. Yeah, let's see. Let's get a laugh. Let's see what this lady can do. I gathered lava today. That was my big deal today. I had all my buckets. I had about, I don't know, maybe 60 buckets because I had been mining a lot. And so it takes 3 iron ingo or whatever. You have to get iron ore and then you have to smelt it. And you have to use something like coal to smelt it. And you have to mine coal. Every block is worth 1 and it takes 64 coal to get 64 iron ore to turn into ingo. But you can take 3 ingo, 3 blocks of iron, and you can make a bucket. So you get a steel bucket, an iron bucket. That's right. That's my birthday. How did you remember that? I guess you just saw a video with it in. Anyway, so you get 3 iron, and then you can make a bucket. And then if you find a lava lake, you just go click, and every square worth of lava, like everything is in squares. So you get a bucket and you fill it up. And then I filled up 3 or 4 double chests. There's 30 in each chest, so 60 in a double chest. So that was 3. You're on your way to the vet with your sick dog, Regina? You have no snow for bells. I can't believe that. That's why I made that video yesterday that was 9 hours long, because I figured you might be watching and you couldn't see them if they just make short videos. And life kind of morphs, When we go from one thing to the next, it's hard to label what's in the videos because they change a lot. Sometimes I remember. I'm gonna go see if that dinner is done yet. I guess you might come. You want to see? Were you here at the beginning when I started making it out of dehydrated potatoes and dehydrated onions and what else is in it? Once the police stopped me walking naked on the street, I claimed that day had not, wait a minute, I had not spoken to my mother on the phone, and I did not receive her daily advice on what to wear, what the weather is going to do, and when I felt confused, I did not know what to wear. He understood me. No charges were filed. Isn't that funny? You tell good jokes. Once there was a way to get back homeward. Oh, once there was a way. You can tell I'm getting old because I remember songs from further back. To get back home. Oh, we're going to check our dinner. Please, pretty darling, do not cry. Yes, I hope your dog gets better soon, too. All right, here we go. I can hear that sound. The telltale This is my today's scalloped potatoes. Hey, I'm making more potatoes again, but it's kind of like soup today.
Hi, dear.
Oh, you're going to the dump.
Yeah.
The dump, the dump, the dump. It's 5:30. Are they open?
No, it's 4:30.
Oh, they close at 5, right?
Yeah. So I better
You better skedaddle.
get that. That's right.
Name postcard. I'm sorry, your dog. Dashing through snow. That's what I was thinking. Door dashing through the snow. Door dashing through the snow. We got new eggs. You should put the date on them so we'll know just how long they go before they turn bad. So there is a certain length of time, a few months, and then it was a great story. My mother didn't tell me. Okay, what's the date today, Willem?
I don't know.
It's the 3rd?
Yeah, it's the 3rd.
Hey, you know what that is? That's 3/3/22.
So,
Well, not too long ago, it was 2202/22/2022. 2/22/2022. All right, I'm going to go sit in here. I'm going to get some of this stuff to drink. I wonder if I'll drink it. I didn't drink my last stuff. Dashing. Would you like me to come with you?
no,
Oh,
you can, I guess, I suppose. You probably like it to stay with, connected to your friends for a little longer.
perhaps. I wonder if it's done. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I shall pray for you. Oh, these are very well done. I'm sorry you're having such difficulties.
Yeah, yeah, so those potatoes are already boiled for 4 minutes before I dehydrated them, so
Okay.
you don't need much extra.
Oops. The thing about hummus is it all dries up. And then you see it's all dry. That's the liverwurst, which got lost. Oops. Shall we play a bit of Minecraft? You can go if you don't want to play. But I'm kind of tired of talking. I'd rather play. Surgery is terrible. I have major heart surgery coming up too. I'm scared. Wish I didn't have anxiety with surgery. Yeah. But really, they're so good at it, and they do it all the time. And it's not like it's new to them. It's only new to you. And everybody that goes in feels that way. But if you look at the statistics, you know, you're probably in very good hands. And things don't generally go bad. Goodbye, darling.
Bye.
I'll see you when I see you. Let's have a prayer. I'll say a prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, Susan needs a new valve, and she's got a bulging artery. And Patty has uterine polyps. I'd like to ask thee if thou will please bless them as they go in surgery, that they will have no fear of it, that they will be able to put it on thee and know that thou art going to guide the hands of the doctor, and that thou wilt protect them, and bless them that thy will be done, and help them especially not to be in fear, And these things we pray in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. It's really nice when our bodies work, isn't it? They don't always work. That's the thing. I'm looking here at my Minecraft and I'm acting very lethargic. You're feeling lethargic? I'm going to turn you around. I'm going to look at my... So I put it on... What's this thing in the way? Oh, I see. That's that. Okay. So I put the game on creative mode so I can fly around. Thank you, Susan. I feel like I'm not alone now. I love Jesus and I trust him, but I'm still scared for surgery. And I'm like a big baby when it comes to that. Well, the only one that wants you to be scared is Satan, and he loves it. He thinks it's awesome. Ha ha, she's not depending on the Lord. So don't let him have a good day. You're welcome. So let's not look at that map. Oops, that's the wrong one. Let's get rid of that map. It's in my hand, you see there? The side hand or something. See, this is where all those beautiful flowers were. Remember? We went from here trying to get to my house. Let's play here. Look at how pretty it is. God will never leave or forsake us. That's right. What a beautiful place. Wow. I should live here. Yeah. Yeah, the best thing is to ignore it and hope it'll go away. Just ignore it all. Don't think about it. Just be so busy that you're too busy to worry about things. And when you're not busy, then you have time to worry about things. What did you just say? I have been praying for you since I met you on here and found out. I will continue. Yes, I have been praying for you as well. Aren't these pretty? Isn't it nicer to fly? That's a lot of work to run up and down all these hills. I keep watching videos in Outlander and praying to get my mind off it. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Pigs. Pigs, glorious. Pigs, hey, we have some seeds. Shall we feed the pigs? Oh, do they like seeds? No, they like potatoes. Look at all these pretty flowers. What a nice world. Thinking happy thoughts, but knowing that surgery day is coming. You ladies are the best. I love you all. And we love you too. It's nice to hang out together. Not there. Yes, I'll pick you a bouquet of flowers. Oh, I would, except I can't give them to you. I'll leave the bouquet here. This is my bouquet of flowers for you. Would you like me to show you what we have here? We have, those are azaleas. Aren't they beautiful? We have azaleas, and we have poppies and orange tulips. And I forget what those things are called, but I really like them. And pink and orange. And then on these blue ones, I think those are forget-me-nots. Yes, yeah, you'll be fine. We have to get our mind off it, so we have to look at the flowers. You see, here's some roses. I think these are wild roses. What a nice place to be on a rainy day. It's raining. Oh, look, and there's some Some little daisies. That one's got an extra set of petals, doesn't it? Yes, you have to have your cup of something. Are they all double like that? Oh yeah, they are. I didn't notice that before. Give them 3D-ishness. This is where I was riding my horse yesterday, remember? Hey, what's in here? A cave. Ooh. And everything important is not in my thing anymore. Look at, you can still see flowers in here. I need some lights. Oh, it's a torch. T-O-R. There's the yellow torches. Let's just play creative mode for a little while. So we'll put one on here on the wall so we can see what we're doing. There. Oops. Always put them on the same side. You're welcome. Yes, the thing is that there's no trials that you're going to go through on Earth that you're not supposed to go through. Like, there's nothing that's going to be different. You die when you're supposed to die. And so maybe this whole purpose of this whole thing is for you to overcome fear. Maybe that's the whole reason that you have this problem. Lord is a great God and a great King up. Ooh, we could go way down there. This goes right through, I think. Does it? Oh, look, there's some coal. You see that stuff? That's where you have to harvest. Look at these. These flowers are way back in here, and there's no sunshine. No sunshine. Let's just light the place up, and we'll leave the lights on. So when we come back, we'll know we went in and out. Isn't that beautiful? See, it's a lot prettier when it's... My screen is black. Uh-oh. All right, well, I have to go then. That means that things aren't working. So it's been very nice talking to everybody. I love you all. Thank you. I'm sorry if I didn't pay enough attention to some of the things that some people were saying. I feel bad about that. Those were good jokes you told. North hunting and fishing. And you guys with your operations coming up, Patty and Susan, it'll be fine. It'll be over before you know it. Just follow the doctor's instructions and you'll be good. Make sure you're clean. Take a bath before you go. Make sure there's no, you're not got random bacteria everywhere. And you'll be fine. They're so good at all this, They really are good at it. Love you guys. Just hold his hand. He's there for you. Talk to a nurse. Talk to a doctor. Tell them that you're afraid of everything, and they can, they can make you feel better. Unless they have a terrible bedside manner. But most of them are pretty good. Anyway, okay, so this is it if we've got a black screen. Goodbye. You can do this at home.